There is a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot that asks a few questions. It tells us to ask ourselves a few questions to keep us on the right track. It says that you should think about three things: where you come from, where you're going, and who will you have to answer to in the end of days. When it's all said and done, you're going to have to answer for your deeds to God. That Mishnah over there is explained by some to have a dual meaning. Because if you look at the answers are interesting. The question's asked twice. First it says you have to know where you come from, know where you're going, and know before whom you're going to give an accounting for your deeds. And then it repeats everything and says, know where you come from a putrid drop. Know where you're going to go to buried in the earth with the maggots and the worms. And to who must you give an accounting? To God, the King of Kings. So the Mefarshim ask over there, why is the Mishnah repeated? Why does it ask three questions without an answer and repeat the three questions again with an answer? So one approach to that Mishnah is that the first time the Mishnah was talking to the soul. When it asks the first three questions with no answer, it's the soul. When it repeats the questions, it's talking to the body. And it seems very obvious because what are the three answers given? You come from a putrid drop. This is how a person is born. The man and woman come together and they make a child. But if they don't make a child with that effort, then the actual ingredients become putrid, it rots. So the putrid drop that we come from is talking about the body. And where does the body go when it's all said and done? 6 feet under with the worms and the maggots decaying. That's the body. And ultimately that body is going to stand in judgment, just like the analogy. And he doesn't have an excuse. What can I do? I'm only a body. You're responsible for your part in what happened. So the second part of that Mishnah is speaking to the body. The first part of the Mishnah that asks only questions with no answers, speaking to the soul. Now we can appreciate, it's interesting. The obvious question you're going to ask me is, why didn't the Mishnah answer the soul's questions as well? It answered the questions for the body. So tell me also where the soul comes from and so the soul lives and is created in a world of revelation. In Shamayim, things are more revealed. So it's enough just to tell the soul the three questions. The soul on its own knows the answers. Our divine spark within us, our soul within, has a much more awareness than we realize. The problem with bringing that awareness to actuality is the fight between the body and the soul. Without that fight, without the nature of the body being to do the opposite, so the body and soul will be a perfect match. It's the challenge and fight that creates difficulty. But the soul on its own knows the answers to the questions. That's why the Mishnah doesn't have to say them. The questions to the soul are, where do you come from? I come from heaven. Where? I was carved out from the throne of glory. I'm a part of Hashem. Chelek Elokam Imal. That's what the soul is. Where are you going? I'm going from this beautiful place with Hashem, one with Hashem, to a dark, confusing, difficult world. And there's a purpose for it. You're going to be partnered up with a body, your brother. The point is for you to influence him, work together with him, and come back full of merit, both of you. That's the purpose that the soul comes down to this world, to elevate the body and world through the mitzvot. The power that we get to do the mitzvot is from the neshama, a part of Hashem. That is the answer to another difficult question. In Parshat Kedoshim, which we read recently, it says that God says to all of us, I am holy, and you should also be holy. In the reverse order, you should be holy because I'm holy. Everyone asks the question, because God is holy, I should be holy? God's God, I'm a piece of whatever. Why should I be holy because God is holy? What's the correlation? The answer is because he gave you a holy neshama. You have a neshama that's a part of Hashem. And because you have a part of Hashem in you, just like God is holy, you have a potential to become holy. That's your job in this world, to make you and your partner involved in holy activities, transforming yourselves into a holy being and this world into a perfect and holy world.